Senator Mombasa County, also the SecGen for Wiper Party. Welcome and good to have you. I think you had a very eventful weekend and enjoyed football, eh?
Yeah, absolutely.
I know you're very passionate about Liverpool.
Yeah, we won 6-0. And I'm surprised why they didn't discuss it here.
It sounds more like a netball game rather than football.
But the highlight was the Barcelona Messi penalty, which was actually passed to Suarez, who scored it. It was a classical penalty. I've not seen that type of a penalty in a long time.
All right. In the middle, we have David Ochieng, Member of Parliament for Ugenya. Thank you for coming, and I hope you had a good weekend too.
Definitely.
Okay. We had busy one as well?
No, we just had an easy one around Kibera, talking to Wananchi.
Okay.
And on Friday, we won Nyangores, and we won Masangolene. So, a very nice weekend.
It was a good weekend.
Yeah.
All right. Last but not least, we have David Kosing, MP for Pokot South. Welcome, sir.
Yes.
How was your weekend?
Very well.
I know it was celebratory given the ruling that was given on Friday.
A big weekend.
Okay.
A big weekend for this country. A big weekend for the truth. You know, after ICC, the appeal chamber threw away the country dividends.
Okay, let's just start with that discussion and
yes.
what came out on Friday. I know you're one who was really fronting for Rule 68 to be withdrawn, especially in the Sang and Ruto cases.
Yes.
Do you consider this a win for just Ruto and Sang or for Kenya?
Actually, it's a win for the world, and it's a cleanup of the court. First of all, I think what needs to be understood very clearly is what happened on that day. You know, throwing away the country dividends on a very good ground by the appeal chamber. That number one, that the trial chamber used the country dividends to the detriment of the accused, that is DP Ruto and Sang. And number two is that the trial chamber interpreted the issue of detrimentality very narrowly, sending a very big question to that trial chamber. So it was a big win for this country. It was a big win for prayers. It was really a big win for the world and the court itself.
Okay.
So we are very happy. Very happy.
I can see David Ochieng smiling there, especially when the prayers are mentioned, because I know that...
Yeah, because, you know, it all boils down to the law. It isn't about all of us, fear God and respect God and all that, but it all boils down to justice. It all boils down to what the law says. And you know, all of us, wherever we are, we're always hoping for the best for the DP in terms of what is facing, but this must be done within the law. So we are happy that the court did what it did, and we hope that in the fullness of time, because one of the biggest things that I think the ICC has done to this country is to try to what's happening. They are tilting the politics of this country, and we're hoping that we're going to be able to do politics minus this ICC issue. And so for us in ODM. And ODM was said to have taken the DP to court, to ICC, but now the truth is coming out, and you've never had the ODM's name being mentioned. I don't know whether you had it in court so far. So finally, the truth is coming out, and we're happy about it, and so that at the end of the day, we're able to all compete politically without anybody having his hands tied behind him or trying to blackmail the record, saying, no, this happened. And so in that regard, we're very happy with the results and what's coming out from there.
Okay, Senator Omar, I know your party leader, or rather the opposition leader, Raila Odinga, had also mentioned that it is a good thing even for the opposition, given that they have been saying they did not take Ruto to... Are you of the same opinion that it's a good thing also for the country and the opposition?
You know, contrary to popular belief, nobody wishes ill of the deputy president. And his predicament is our predicament. As my brother Ochieng here said, for us ultimately it's about justice. If there is evidence that anybody committed crimes against humanity, you cannot mobilize ethnic and other political considerations around it. You must face the law head on. And the fact that the jurisprudence is evolving, then this is an important precedence for the ICC. You see, now everybody's praises about the ICC, particularly those from Jubilee. Tomorrow, if they get a decision that goes against them, you will see the way they will call it a foreign court that wants to put away certain people and to allow certain people to get into power. So I think once we divorce these emotions and politicization of this process, because there are victims out there, nobody ends up talking about these victims. Absolutely, I think every decision, every prayer, I think is about it must be sinking the expectations of the victims by the day, whether they will ever get justice at all.
Okay.
And it's 5 years on, and there has been no investigations locally. There have been no high-profile prosecutions locally. And I think it's important we start to look into some of these matters critically.
Okay, Honorable Kosing, and Senator brings up something very crucial here. You as an individual have been very vocal and very at the forefront of ensuring that Ruto and Sang are off the hook in regards to the ICC, but we don't see that same energy when it comes to the victims locally. We don't see anybody who's really out to look to the welfare. What happened?
I think, Mike, let's be very honest. And this discussion has come all the time when we're discussing about this ICC case against the Deputy President of this Republic and Sang. And many a times people ask about that question of victims. Number one is victims have been taken care of, and particularly by this government, by the Jubilee government. Very important. I don't know why we are not beginning from that point of view, that these guys have also been taken care of. That is number one, basically.
How?
You know, the government has given them, resettled them. That is very clear.
But there are some who are still disgruntled and have said that they have not got their fair share.
No. First of all, let us agree. Let's go together. That number one, the majority of them have been resettled. That's number one. And it is data. It is the truth. Number two, of course, you know, there might be some people here and there.
Let me stop you, Honorable Kosing.
Yes,
when you say the majority, what is your basis of the argument that it's the majority? Because we cannot just say it's the majority.
Now, let's go to the camps which are in Nakuru. All of them have been resettled. Let's go to the one which are in Eldoret. You know, they were in shows, they were in showgrounds and so on. All of them have been resettled. I don't know why we're not seeing that fact, that is the truth.
Those are IDPs. Those are not victims. Those are IDPs.
One second. You know, Ocheng now, you know.
One at a time. Okay,
now, Ocheng now is bringing other things.
Okay, just carry on.
But I was explaining this. Those camps have been closed. And the government have resettled them. The money has been given to them to go and buy their land. There might be one or two unique cases here and there. And some of these cases, Mike, might be that, you know, some people might also come out and say, you know what, because there's money, you know, we are victims. You know, some people can come out like that. Number two, which is very important, is that Sang and Ruto are victims as well of international conspiracy. That is very true. And now it's coming out. So I don't know why people want to not to isolate this thing. Three, was Ruto and Sang responsible for all the problems in this country? Do we want to sacrifice Ruto and Sang? Just because we say, okay, well, fine, because of victims, then we want to sacrifice these things. And finally, very important, which is coming up now, is that the witnesses, you know, which are in ICC and which recount the evidence, they have nothing to do with, victims never produce these witnesses. First of all, even they have no idea who are they. There might be even bystanders. So why are people forgetting that issue, Mike, all the time when we discuss that Mheshimiwa Ruto and Sang are also victims?
Okay.
You know, Mike, the point is that victims are not victims of Ruto and Sang. I think that's very important. These are victims of the post-election violence. And so we are, when we start trying to link the two, these are victims of post-election violence. And so we should look at them as such, whether the two in court are left free or
whatever happens to the case of Ruto and Sang is independent
of the violence, not the victims of Ruto and Sang. And so when you start it that way, then you are able to start looking at how to solve their issues. And victims here, people, you know, we lost more than 1,200 people. And so there's those who lost their loved ones, there's those who lost their lives, there are those who lost a limb and all that. So victims are not only IDPs. Victims, and as you know, they come in so many shades. And so we lost a very important process, Mike, and that process was identifying these victims, knowing what happened to them, the way we dealt with the TRC. You know, now we removed this PV from the TRC process. We need to do that as a country, to know what happened, what is the truth. Those who are saying they're victims of what, and what happened to them. We never did that, and so then they talk about victims normally it's also really blurred by that fact that people think the victims we're talking about are those, the victims of Ruto and Sang. No. And that's what we should look at. How do we address that nationally? I mean, domestically, as it were. We need to address that domestically and divorce it from
what is
what's
happening
going
at the
on
ICC.
the head. That's
All
for me
right,
is the most
and
important thing.
this is Morning Express. It is now 20 minutes after 7, and we're just going to take a short break. We'd like to have Ambrose Weda join us also on the set, so we'll take a short break. But remember, you are welcome to participate in the conversation. Right now, we're talking about the ruling that was given on Friday, and this is not to for the use of recanted evidence not to be introduced in the Ruto and Sang case. And of course, the question that is in many people's minds is also what happens to the victims, and is the government as proactive in ensuring that the victims are taken care of as they did with that of Deputy President, the President, and also Joshua Sang, the journalist. So we're going to take a short break, but we'll be right back right here on Morning Express. Keep your tweets coming.